Good afternoon and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Saturday. It is September 28th and it's day one of the two-day California Crown Festival over there at Santa Anita. So they've got, a lot of enhanced purses there for some of their races, their Breeders' Cup preps, and some betting opportunities as well. Quite a few betting opportunities. As in studying these cards and looking at all these different betting opportunities, it almost feels like when you're really hungry and you go to the buffet and you see all these wonderful things and you just don't know what to do. You don't know where to start first, and then you just end up getting, what is your usual old standby. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here today with all of these different betting opportunities that Santa Anita is offering. I'm going to go with just a couple here. I'm going to go with an all-stakes pick 5, which starts in the 5th race over at Santa Anita. It includes races 5 and then 7 through 10. So that's their all-stakes pick 5. It's a $1 increment, so it's a little bit different than their usual, which is a 50-cent increment. So the $1 ticket, makes it more expensive, but certainly, can produce a bigger payoff. So that pick 5, the stakes pick 5 starts at about 4:35 here in the Central Time Zone, so 2:35 there Pacific. And let's get started here. The 5th race is the first of that all-stakes pick 5. It is the Unzip Me, which is it's a $100,000 black type race, 3-year-old fillies. It's 6.5 furlongs down the hill, which are always wonderful races to be able to bet down the hill there at Santa Anita. There's a scratch, pretty big scratch, I feel, in the one-horse Dreamfire, so that took a lot of speed out of this race. And, there's still a big field here, great betting opportunity, and I think, really nice race to start out this all-stakes pick 5. So I've got 3 horses here that I'm going to put in to try to get this all-stakes pick 5 started. I'm going to first go with the 6 horse, who is Zona Verde for Phil D'Amato. J.J. Hernandez takes over. So, you never go wrong when you're going with Phil D'Amato and Hernandez pairing up together in a turf stakes race. Now, this horse, she's 0 for at Santa Anita. She's 0 for 5 with 2 seconds in the Santa Anita turf. I'd give her a pass on some of these. I mean, she ran with, the nice 3-year-olds over there earlier this year in Medoro. She ran with a Tifana, who was also in this race. And I thought she made a good account of herself. But, we saw her last 2 races in graded races at Del Mar. She ran in the San Clemente grade 2. I thought ran a really nice second to Ice Cream You Scream, who, turned out to be the best grass girl there as a 3-year-old at Del Mar. She ran second to Ice Cream You Scream, and then also ran third to Ice Cream You Scream in the grade 1 Del Mar Oaks. I thought she made a good account of herself running in some longer races. I think the shorten up here to 6.5 down the hill will do her up, pretty well. I've also got the 10 horse, who is Golden Canary. This is from Mark Casse. Mark Casse, training for Eclipse Thoroughbreds and Gary Barber. We've seen them win races all over the place. This horse comes in from Woodbine. And, in studying this horse's races, she has run exceptionally nice races in her one-turn turf races. So, that's kind of what the downhill turf is. It's kind of, it's a little bit of a right-handed turn and then your usual left-handed turn. So I just think in her experience running on the turf, I think she should do well with this type of layout here. John Velasquez takes over. We've certainly seen John Velasquez win races down the hill. This horse is 8-1. I'm also going to make a win bet on Golden Canary here. And then I'm going to also put, for the stakes pick 5 purposes, I'm going to put the 11 horse, who is Tupi, Graham Motion, and he puts Flavian Pratt. So Pratt, is back in California today. And he's got a lot of live mounts, so he'll be certainly a factor. This horse is 5-2 in the program. Now, she's run, quite a few different tracks and seems to make a good account of herself. Ruiz has been riding this horse, so, I feel just instantly when you've got Pratt and you put Pratt on a horse, he's going to improve this girl, several lengths, and, that could certainly make the difference in winning the race. So to start out this pick 5, I've got the 6, 10, and 11, and I've got the win bet on the 10, Golden Canary. So let's move over to the 7th race, which the 7th race is the second leg of this all-stakes pick 5. That's the 7th race is the John Henry Turf Championship, 1.25 miles on the grass. This is an enhanced purse. Now this is $750,000. So, they've really bumped up the purses in several of these races in this California Crown Series. I've got 3 horses here that I'm going to put in to try to keep this pick 5, stakes pick 5 going along. I've got the 3 horse, who is Divine Propos, Phil D'Amato, Antonio Fresu. This D'Amato's had this horse now for 3 of his starts here in the States since they brought this horse over from Europe. The horse has 2 wins, a win at Santa Anita and a win at Del Mar. I think this horse looks to be just ever improving. And, at 6-1 here, Fresu keeps the call. He's won twice on this horse. I just think this horse is improving in a race that I think is, looks to be kind of ripe for the pickings for a horse like this to be improving and winning in a graded race. So, I've got the 3 Divine Propel. I've also got the 5 horse who is Dicey Mochara. This is for Leonard Powell. Now, this horse has been knocking around in the California Stakes division, the older Stakes division. So, has a couple wins at Santa Anita. I feel like this race is a little bit void of speed. Now, I know in his last race, the way they ran that race is probably nothing like they'll run today. So that was 1 mile 3/8 at Del Mar. They ran some slow fractions, and this horse took the lead, on the 3-turn race, just kind of backed everyone down. Ended up getting beat by Gold Phoenix, who was in this race. I'm not going to go with Gold Phoenix. I'm going against Gold Phoenix today. But I feel like Dicey Mochara probably will benefit from the Santa Anita turf course running a faster pace. I think this horse, we see that, the turf just seems to be very speed favoring at Santa Anita. It's probably hard and fast, just like it was at the end of their spring meet. And, I don't know how much rain they've gotten there. Probably not a lot. But, we saw on the first day of racing yesterday, speed did pretty well. So Dicey Mochara, I feel, can get out to the lead. Hector Barrios, certainly knows what he's doing there on the lead. And I'm going to put Dicey Mochara here in this race. I'm also going to put the 11 horse. The 11 horse being Belnikoff for Phil D'Amato. Phil D'Amato gets Flavien Prat to ride this horse, who, that's always a benefit. Now, in studying this horse, I see this horse as 0 for 8 at Santa Anita, and, 0 for 8 with 2 seconds. You might say, well, this horse doesn't really like Santa Anita, but you know what? The horse shows up, runs pretty decent races. His last 2 races he ran, I thought he ran really nicely. Kazushi Kimura was on him. Kazushi Kimura certainly did nothing wrong on this horse. He ran 2 nice races. I just feel like this horse had something more to give. And Flavien Prat, 5-1. I think Prat will certainly get the most out of this horse. But I don't see that Prat has ever ridden this horse before. So first time Prat gets on a horse, he certainly moves horses up. So, in this John Henry Turf, I've got the 3, 5, and 11 here. All right, now let's go over to the 8th race. 8th race is the 3rd leg of that stakes pick 5. The 8th race is the Eddie D, 6.5 down the hill, grade 2. This $750,000 purse. So that's an amazing purse for a turf sprint. We don't usually see that. Certainly don't see it in California, but, rarely do you see these big kind of purses in turf races. So, some shippings came in. So that's really the goal. So, good for Santa Anita for doing this and getting a big field of horses to compete. I do like 2 horses here. I mean, it's a nice field of horses, very competitive field. I've got 2 horses that I feel, will get the job done, one of the 2 here. I've got the 6 horse who was Air Force Red for Leonard Powell. Juan Hernandez takes the call. Now, this horse has run really well down the hill. Certainly, knows how to get to the winner's circle from the down the hill race. Has the connections that have win big races and eclipse thoroughbred partners. Hernandez has done well with this horse as well. I feel like this horse, should probably get a nice position coming off some longer races. Get a nice position and finish up. Maybe even, who knows, lead him from throughout. We'll see. But that's the 6 horse Air Force Red at 10-1. And then the other horse that I really like is Big Invasion. Big Invasion, Christophe Clement. Now, we've seen this horse, knocking around everywhere. We saw this horse lose the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint last year at Santa Anita by a nose. That was a really, really disappointing loss for me. I really could have used that horse that day. I think it was 14-1, and, Rosario just got outridden that day. So we know this horse has a ton of ability. It's just a matter of he gets himself into problems, gets himself into trouble. And, Flavien Prat from the 11 hole, I don't think there should be any problems here. He certainly knows what to do. And this horse will be finishing up fast. So that's the 11 Big Invasion. So I've got the 6 and 11 there. Now let's move over to the next race, which is the 4th leg of the Stakes Pick 5. This is the Grade 1 California Crown. This is 1 mile and 1/8, for 3-year-olds and up boys. I've got a single here. Nice competitive field. Certainly Baffer's represented, which, we always would figure in a race like this. The favorite is National Treasure. It's 8-5 in the program. Flavien Prat, a whole lot to like there. But I'm going to go against this horse. I'm going to single the 5 horse, who is Muth. Muth, also from Bob Baffert. Juan Hernandez takes the call. Muth was really supposed to be Bob Baffert's best 3-year-old this year. And, for reasons that, Bob Baffert would have to answer to, they couldn't run this horse in the Triple Crown races, so we didn't see him there. But it doesn't mean the horse doesn't have ability, and doesn't mean the horse, hasn't, can still realize some great potential. I feel like today's the day this horse will show a big race. He had a really nice spring, ran in the Arkansas Derby, won that race, has won at Santa Anita. The horse had a vacation after the Arkansas Derby, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But, brought the horse back at Del Mar in the mile distance and the shared belief, which, that was not a strong field, let's face it. But in watching the film on that race, Muth did everything that he was supposed to do. This horse was working up a storm for that race, and I thought he ran a really nice race. He, got challenged a little bit, which I'm glad to see. I like to see a horse have a little bit of adversity. He got challenged a little bit, and he also just, responded to that challenge. So I feel like this horse has a ton to give, and Mile and 1/8 should be perfect for him. Has had a couple works since that last race, the shared belief. 2-1 in the program, not a big secret here, but I am going to single this horse, and I expect a big run out of Muth. That's the 5 horse. All right, now let's go to the last race of the day. Last race of the day is the 10th race. It's the City of Hope Mile on the grass, grade 2. Another wonderful race. They put together. This is a lot of nice turf milers showed up for this one. I've got 4 horses that I want to cap off the stakes pick 5 with. Now I'm going to go first with the 3 horse, which was Johannes Tim Yakteen. Now this horse, this horse has done nothing wrong. 5 for 5 at Santa Anita, 3 for 3 in the distance of a mile. This horse, just likes to win and has put together, just a nice, 3-race win streak. And, I think he's won 6 out of his last 7 or something like that. So this horse is certainly in shape. 4 to 5 in the program. Got to put him in here. I do feel like there are some other really nice horses who, you never know. Trips do happen. Horses, have tough times on the grass and things can happen. I'm going to also put the 5 horse, who was Easter, for Phil D'Amato. I feel like this horse, has kind of been a victim of some bad trips. And, Frey Sue, who's on him again, has, kind of given this horse a lot to do in his last couple races. And it's been tough closing in some of the races he's been in. So I think 10-1, Easter can find a way, and dig down into his class. He certainly likes Santa Anita, has 2 wins there. Certainly does well at the mile distance, 5 wins there. So at 10-1, I think this horse is dangerous. I'm also going to put the 6 horse, who is Tricari. Graham Motion brings this horse, from the east. With West Coast connections, actually. Ammerman Racing, has certainly run a lot of races, in Southern California and won a lot of races. But this horse is an East Coast-based horse. This horse has done a lot right this year. John Velasquez has been on him for the last couple wins. Velasquez is on him today. Certainly a dangerous horse, shipping in from the east. And then finally, I'm going to put the 9 horse, who is Conclude, for Phil D'Amato, Hector Barrios. This horse comes off a win in the Del Mar Mile, which is a grade 2. And, this horse has run well at Santa Anita as well. From the 9 hole, I feel like Hector Barrios has just kind of one way to go, probably just get to the lead. And as we see, sometimes on this Santa Anita turf course, the speed just really does well. It's a hard course, fast, a horse like Conclude can get the lead and certainly, get out there and go for it. So let's recap this stakes race ticket. So this is the pick 5, the all stakes pick 5, which is the 5th through the 5th, and then the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So the ticket I have is a $72 ticket, which starts with the 6, 10, 11, with the 3, 5, and 11, with the 6 and 11, with the single of the 5 Muth, with the 3, 5, 6, and 9. So that's a $72 ticket there. I've also got another play. I'm going to play the traditional pick 5, which that starts in the 6th race at Santa Anita, and it goes 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's get that one started here. So in the 6th race at Santa Anita, that's a maiden race, 6 furlongs on the dirt. That's California-bred maidens. Big field, huge field of horses. So that's really nice. So these are 2-year-olds, 2-year-old boys, 2-year-old fillies. I've got 4 horses I'm going to put in to try to get this traditional pick 5 started. I'm going to go with the 5 going deep. Doug O'Neill, this horse has 1 race off over the track back in the summer, ran at Santa Anita, ran a nice second. We hadn't seen him in a while. The horse did not show up at Del Mar. Been working nicely, 2-1. I'm going to put him in. Going to also put the 7 horse, was You Decide, for Peter Urton. This horse comes off one race running over at Gulfstream in the summer. California bred for Glen Hill Farm. So they do, breed some California horses. So, they're going to get the beneficiary of a ship and win. So they'll get that. This horse is 15-1. We saw Doug O'Neill do a ship and win yesterday and win. So we'll see if Peter Urton can do this with this 15-1 here and Hector Barrios. Now I'm also going to put the 8 horse, who is Rizzleberry Rose. This is for Steve Knapp. This horse had 2 starts over at Del Mar in the maiden special ranks, and I thought that she made a good account of herself in both first starts. 4-1. Tiago Pereira keeps the call. I think this horse is certainly live. And then I'm going to put a first starter for Michael McCarthy. Grateful My Love. That's the 9 horse for John Velasquez. Now McCarthy, is kind of just average, I think, in first starts, but I just feel like this race looks kind of primed for the picking, which there's no huge standouts here that can really you look at it on paper and say they can't lose. So horse like this, first starter, John Velasquez, Michael McCarthy could pop with the youngsters and with the first starter. So I do feel like this horse has a chance at 10-1. So that's the 5, 7, 8, 9. All right, now let's go to the next race in the late pick 5, which is the 7th race. Now these races overlap. The stakes pick 5 and the late pick 5 do overlap, so we're not going to repeat and go over these again. But the 7th is the John Henry. That's the 1.25 mile stakes race to Grade 2. It's a big purse, $750,000. And as I said before, I like 3 horses here. I got the 3 Divine Propos. I've got the 5 who is Dicey Mochara, and then I've got the 11 horse who is Belnikov for Phil D'Amato and Flavian Pratt. All right, now let's go to the next race, which is the 8th race. And this is the Eddie D. Again, 6.5 down the hill, $750,000. The 2 horses I do like, as I mentioned in the previous pick 5. I like the 6 horse, who is Air Force Red for Leonard Powell. And then I like the 11 horse, who is Big Invasion, Christophe Clement. And he puts Flavian Pratt on there. It looks like Flavian Pratt's going to have a nice day today. He's got a lot of live ones. And then the next race there in the late pick 5 is the 9th race. This is the California Crown, the Grade 1. I'm going to single here as well. I'm going to single Muth in this ticket as well. That's the 5 horse for all the reasons I mentioned, moments ago. And then in the last race of the day, which is the 10th, City of Hope Mile, I'm going to go with the 3, 5, 6, and 9 in there. So the late pick 5 is a $48 ticket. All right, now finally, we're going to also play the $3 Turf Pick 3, which, that's the last 3 races of the day, which is our turf races. It's a $3 increment. Today it's races 7, 8, and 10, and I've got a $3 Pick 3 that I'm going to play. So in the 7th race, I've got the 3, 5, and 11. The 8th race, I've got the 6 and 11. And then in the 10th race, I've got the 3, 5, 6, and 9. So that ticket is a $72 ticket. Okay, so let's recap today. We've got a lot of different bets that I talked about. So we're going to recap here. We've got the $1 all stakes pick 5 starting in the 5th race, which goes 5th, and then races 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got a $72 ticket, 6, 10, 11, with 3, 5, 11, with 6, 11, with 5, with the 3, 5, 6, and 9. And again, that's a $72 ticket. Then I'm going to go with the traditional pick 5, which starts in the late pick 5, starts in the 6th race. I've got the 5, 7, 8, 9, with the 3, 5, 11, with the 6 and 11, with the 5 singling Muth, with the 3, 5, 6, and 9. Now that's a $48 ticket for 50 cents. That's a 50-cent increment. And then finally, I've got the $3 Turf Pick 3, which includes races 7, 8, and 10. And I've got the 3, 5, and 11 with the 6 and 11 with the 3, 5, 6, and 9. And that's a $72 Pick 3 ticket because that's a $3 increment. And then a win bet in the 5th race. I do have a win bet in the 5th race on the 10 horse. That's the John Velasquez horse. So as always, I wish you the best of luck today. Today's a long day of racing at Santa Anita. Let's get some good trips, some good rides, and let's hope for the great safe day of racing over at Santa Anita. Let's wish the folks the best over there. As always, I ask you to please do me a favor. Hit the like button or dislike button, whatever you feel. Make some comments. Please do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button for me. I could use that. And thank you so much for watching. Let's have a great day at Santa Anita.